You probably saw that a policeman kicked a young man in the head at Manchester Airport recently, and everyone went, no, this is our George Floyd. There were BLM protests in Manchester, even though the guys weren't actually black. Maybe people just got the wrong end of the stick when they heard they were brothers. Liberals cried, saying, the police officer's actions are shocking and racist and he should be put in jail. I personally found it shocking to see the police actually tackling a suspect instead of dancing at a pride parade or running away or arresting somebody for a tweet. And Muslims protested outside Rochdale police station demanding the release of the men.
There's no point smashing this all up. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But tomorrow I'll tell you boys, if we don't get justice, yeah, these motherfuckers are gonna get it.
What is going on is that the police is institutionally racist. Let's make that clear. The police is a racist organisation.
Some chanted Allah Akbar, some kicked the door. I haven't seen moves like that since I was at school and we put on a production of The Karate Kid. And some chucked eggs at the windows.
Yeah, go on lad. Just watch him, yeah, don't get him.
Boys, aim the top one. They can't clean them.
The police were unable or unwilling to prevent the mob from doing this. This was a week on from the riots in Leeds where police had to retreat because they had insufficient numbers to stop thousands of diverse people strengthening the local community by setting fire to it. Is nobody else concerned that parts of Britain are under mob rule and the authorities seem powerless to stop them? And looking at the airport incident, for a while all people had to go on was the original video showing the policeman kicking the guy. Now, I'm not normally one to stand up for police brutality, but it did seem like there was some context missing. It didn't seem to have just sprung from nothing, like an innocent Muslim youth decided to have a nice lie down in an airport and then a passing police officer saw his chance to practice his penalties. Even in the first video you can see a female police officer, that's right, they have lady police officers now, clutching her face. Reports started coming through that the police were responding to a fight and a policewoman had been assaulted and had her nose broken. But George Galloway smelt a Muslim grievance to feast upon and went to meet the brothers like a blowfly drawn to a putrefying corpse. He claimed that 8 members of their extended family are police officers. Man, I don't even have 8 people in my extended family. Could this be why the men behave with such impunity? In some cultures, if you've got family in the police, you can do what you want. And controversial lawyer Ahmed Yaqub swung into action. He's a hero of mine. He releases lurid videos showing off his money and answering questions he probably got asked a lot this week, like, can you hit police officers first? He has a Lamborghini, there's good money in legal aid and compensation grifting. He's previously said that 70% of hell is women, and he's been called out in the papers for joking about domestic violence. Like I say, he's a bit of a character.
Disgusting police brutality. Not only that, they're acting like thugs. After that man has kicked the young man who was posing no threat, his mother was sitting beside him. The woman police officer threatened to taser the person who's making the video and capturing their crimes. If this video was not made, these people, these police officers would have denied that this even took place. There needs to be serious action taken against these police officers who act like criminals and show such brutality to the public. This is not going to carry on for any longer. The boy has been in touch and I will be taking action. Remember that.
He was so moved by the plight of these poor young men who are posing no threat that he decided to represent them. He said his clients hadn't just been assaulted, they were subject to an attempted assassination attempt by police.
You'll have seen more video than me, you might have seen more video than the mayor. What might he be referring to?
I hope he's referring to the attempted assassination, the joint enterprise assassination of the young boys by the police officers. And that is concerning, because if police officers who are meant to protect us are going around trying to kill people, how are the public going to feel safe?
You would use the word assassination, Mr. Yaqub?
Kill, yeah, they were threatened to kill. One of the boys were threatened to get killed by a police officer.
And not only that, their brother who works in the police was scared to go to work in case he was assassinated too. Where does he think this is? It's Britain, not Sierra Leone, although we're kind of heading that way.
Their older brother and the woman's third child
is a saving police officer.
So I understand. With GMP, right?
And he tells me, yes, GMP, and he tells me he can't go into work. And I asked him why. He said he's afraid that they might kill him.
So he thinks if he goes into work, he will be killed?
Yes, he's afraid for his life if he goes into work.
Who's going to kill him? I mean, that's, with respect to him, that's a preposterous analysis, isn't it? He thinks he's going to be killed?
Yes, I mean, the brother was threatened.
It felt like this was slightly over-egging the inevitable case for compensation. He also claimed the mother got a black eye from the police officer.
Can you confirm that the mother was struck in the face by a police officer?
Yes, she has a black eye, and she confirmed that she was struck in the face by a police officer. Only a short clip can be seen. If you play the clip when the young man is on the ground, you can see a kick from the officer whilst he's bending down, and you can see him take his hand out. You slow down that footage. But the actual main assault on the mother took place a few minutes prior to that.
But then a second video was leaked showing the build-up to the incident, which cast these poor innocent assassination targets in a different light. 3 police officers, 1 male and 2 female, restrain one of the men, the guy in light blue. A second man, wearing a black t-shirt, circles the male officer. It looks like he's going to attack him. The first man hits the 2 female officers multiple times. The man in the black t-shirt is tased by the male officer. At this point, the second man has knocked down the 2 other officers and sucker punches the policeman in the back of the head. The policeman and the man in blue wrestle to the ground as the blue man is tased by the female officers. It looks like the man's arm goes for the police officer's gun, although given that he's just been tased, this might be accidental. Remember, these are armed police, so it's very serious if one of the attackers gets one of their weapons. Not such little angels now, are they? Remember the lawyer claimed the mother got a black eye from the policeman? Well, it looks like it was actually her own son. Apparently there was more violence preceding this. The mother was flying in from Pakistan when she was involved in a row with a passenger. The dispute continued when the plane landed and a man pushed his luggage trolley into the woman and made racist comments, it is claimed. And I'm sure these fine upstanding citizens wouldn't claim that racism had happened when it hadn't. Mr. Yaqub tried valiantly to stay in control of the narrative, but the new footage blew his claims out of the water and might just have blown any chance of compensation too, so he stood down. When the first video was released, people were calling for the policeman to be given a jail sentence.
So, I want immediate action of the police officers, every one of them who was involved in the Manchester Airport incident, all of them arrested, suspended, tried and jailed. Immediately, every one of them officers needs to be arrested immediately. If not, then we will go to plan B and you will see big protests, I promise you. Protests like you've never seen before.
Having seen the context, I think we should give the police officer a medal, a promotion, a pair of steel toe caps and a run-up. He'd been punched in the head about 9 times, then sucker punched. There were weapons in the mix and the group of men attacked a woman and broke her nose. Where's the outrage over this? Where are all the feminists? They've been studiously silent over this. This is because intersectional feminists can't criticise someone higher up the oppression matrix than themselves. So while a pale, stale male holding a door open is literal gender-based violence, a more vibrant man punching a woman in the face is acceptable. The activist Bushra Sheikh shows how they see the situation. A bunch of white officers got their arses handed to them by Pakistanis. Then an officer broke lawful protocol to take revenge. The left frame any attacks on police or white people as a justified part of decolonisation or racial justice, and any intervention by the police as oppression. Look how the left petrified the authorities in that same English town of Rochdale into ignoring the industrial scale rape of English children by Muslim gangs because they were terrified of being called racist. And how this police officer is treated could have huge ramifications. The left-wing media used this incident to accuse the police of institutional racism yet again. I was a criminal intelligence analyst for a decade. Friends in the police now talk of morale being at an all-time low, of a focus on trendy diversity targets instead of actual policing, of the most experienced officers being pushed out by diversity SARS. There are an estimated 40 to 50,000 Islamists on terror watch lists in Britain. The weight of numbers is reaching a tipping point. There's concern that our police forces will soon lack the expertise, numbers, or impetus to deal with threats to public safety. And some people say that this lawyer is exploiting the system. Good, he's exposing that the system needs reform then. Don't rely on some antiquated ideal of British fair play, because this isn't Britain anymore. Don't rely on people's good intentions to keep the system straight. Next time you can, vote for a party that'll reform the system. I've got some ideas. Number 1, you can't get legal aid if you're wearing a tracksuit. Number 2, if you commit a crime, you can get deported. Number 3, from now on, racist hate crimes are when you commit a crime that conforms to a racist stereotype and thus reinforces and encourages that racist stereotype. Anyway, thanks for listening. If you want to buy me a beer, there's links below, and if you want to support me making these videos, you can sign up to my Patreon and get exclusive content and stuff. Okay, thanks for listening. I've been Leo Kears. Bye. Bye bye.